In the 2022 NFL Draft, 8 quarterbacks heard their names called before Brock Purdy. At the time, nobody questioned it. Purdy was viewed as a solid college quarterback, but not a future NFL star. Some scouts thought his arm strength was limited. Others questioned his athleticism. And after an inconsistent final season at Iowa State, many teams simply didn't view him as a franchise quarterback. So Purdy fell, and fell, and fell, until the San Francisco 49ers selected him with the final pick in the draft. Pick 262. Mr. Irrelevant. Fast forward to today, and Brock Purdy has become one of the biggest draft steals in NFL history, leading his team to a Super Bowl. So who were the 8 quarterbacks drafted before him? And were NFL teams right to choose him over Purdy? Let's find out. The Pittsburgh Steelers selected Kenny Pickett with the 20th overall pick. Unlike most quarterbacks in this draft, Kenny Pickett entered the NFL with plenty of hype. At the University of Pittsburgh, he developed from a decent starter into one of the best quarterbacks in college football. His senior season was spectacular. Pickett threw for over 4,300 yards and 42 touchdowns while leading Pitt to an ACC championship. He finished third in Heisman Trophy voting and became one of the most decorated players in school history. Many scouts believed he was the safest quarterback prospect available. He wasn't the most athletic, he didn't have the strongest arm, but he was experienced and NFL ready. The Steelers hoped he would become the successor to Ben Roethlisberger. Unfortunately, things never really clicked. Over 2 seasons, Pickett struggled to generate explosive plays and never developed into a franchise quarterback. After the 2023 season, Pittsburgh moved on. Today, he's viewed more of a backup than a future star. The Atlanta Falcons selected Desmond Ridder in the 3rd round. Ridder's college career was incredibly successful. At Cincinnati, he became one of the best quarterbacks in college football history. He helped transform the Bearcats into a national powerhouse and led them to the college football playoff. That had never been done before by a group of 5 school. Ridder finished his college career with over 12,000 passing yards and nearly 3,000 rushing yards. He was a proven winner. The question was whether his skills would translate to the NFL. Atlanta eventually gave him opportunities to become the starter, but consistency became a major issue. Some games showed promise, others were filled with turnovers and missed opportunities. The Falcons eventually moved on. Today, he's a free agent after being released by the Packers. Before the draft, Malik Willis was one of the most fascinating prospects in football. Some mock drafts even projected him as a first-round pick. At Liberty University, Willis became a highlight machine. He could launch deep passes, escape pressure, and make defenders miss in the open field. In 2021, he threw for over 2,800 yards and rushed for nearly 900 more. His physical tools were elite. The problem was refinement. NFL teams knew he would need time to develop. When Tennessee eventually put him on the field, the adjustment proved difficult. The speed of the NFL was much different than college football. While Willis remained incredibly athletic, he struggled to establish himself as a starting quarterback. He was a backup for a couple years, but is getting another chance now being the Dolphins' starting quarterback. Very few quarterbacks entered the draft with more momentum than Matt Corral. At Ole Miss, he thrived in the offense. He was aggressive, mobile, and capable of making spectacular throws. During the 2021 season, he threw for over 3,300 yards while adding over 600 rushing yards. Many analysts considered him one of the most talented quarterbacks in the class. Then injuries changed everything. A preseason foot injury cost him valuable development time. Roster changes followed, and before long, Corral found himself struggling just to stay on NFL rosters. It's one of the biggest what-if stories from this quarterback class. Today, he's in the UFL, moved down from struggles in the NFL. Bailey Zappe's college numbers were almost unbelievable. Playing for Western Kentucky, he threw for over 5,900 yards and 62 touchdowns in a single season. Both were FBS records. His production was so insane that NFL teams had to take notice. New England selected him in the 4th round. When injuries hit the Patriots, Zappe actually played fairly well. At one point, fans were even calling for him to replace Mac Jones permanently. But while Zappe had flashes, he never became a franchise quarterback. Still, for a 4th round pick, he exceeded expectations. He is now a backup quarterback for the Jets. Sam Howell may have been the biggest draft steal in this list besides Purdy. Coming out of high school, Howell was one of the most highly regarded quarterback recruits in America. At North Carolina, he immediately lived up to the hype. As a freshman, he threw 38 touchdown passes. Over 3 seasons, he developed into one of college football's most productive quarterbacks. Many analysts expected him to be selected much earlier. Instead, he fell all the way to the 5th round. The Commanders eventually gave him a chance to start, and unlike most quarterbacks on this list, he actually showed real flashes. Big arm, good mobility, solid production. The problem was turnovers and sacks. Washington eventually moved in another direction. He is now a backup for the Eagles. Chris Oladikin took a unique path to the NFL. After stops at multiple colleges, he finished his career at South Dakota State. There, he showcased athleticism and versatility that caught the attention of NFL scouts. The Steelers selected him late in the 7th round. However, opportunities were limited. Most of his career has been spent on practice squads and reserve rosters. He's been in the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad, even getting a chance to play late in the season after injuries. While he played okay, it still wasn't NFL starter level. Skylar Thompson spent 6 years at Kansas State. Over that time, he became one of the most respected leaders in the program's history. While his college statistics weren't eye-popping, coaches loved his toughness and experience. Miami selected him late in the 7th round. Then something unexpected happened. Injuries forced him into playoff action. Most 7th-round quarterbacks never get anywhere close to that opportunity. While Miami lost, Thompson performed admirably, considering the circumstances. Today, he's a backup for the Steelers. And then there was Brock Purdy. Long before becoming Mr. Irrelevant, Purdy was already a star. As a freshman at Iowa State, he transformed the program. He became the best quarterback in school history, threw for nearly 12,000 yards, accounted for over 100 total touchdowns, and helped Iowa State achieve some of the greatest seasons the school had ever seen. Yet scouts remained unconvinced. His final college season wasn't perfect. His physical traits weren't elite, and teams believed his ceiling was limited. So they passed, 8 different times. Then the 49ers gave him a chance. The rest is history. He became a Pro Bowler, led playoff runs, started a Super Bowl, and turned the final pick in the draft into the best quarterback from the entire class. So how did the quarterbacks drafted before Brock Purdy turn out? Some became backups, some never found their footing, a few showed flashes, but none reached the level Brock Purdy has already achieved. The story of this draft isn't that these quarterbacks were terrible. The story is that NFL teams completely underestimated Brock Purdy. That's what's crazy about the NFL draft. You never truly know how good a player is until they play their first game.